The Philadelphia Eagles may have finally secured the advantage they needed for one of the most important matchups of the season, the wild card game against the San Francisco 49ers. With the postseason atmosphere becoming increasingly intense, an event from Santa Clara has cast a cloud of uncertainty over the 49ers' offensive line. I'll tell you all the details in a moment. But first, make sure you've already hit the like button. But only do that if you truly believe we're going to win the next game. Seriously, I believe it so much. If possible, write this: Go Eagles! My heart bleeds green and white. Well, the situation of All-Pro left tackle Trent Williams is officially in doubt, according to NFL journalist Ian Rappaport. And make no mistake, this isn't just any player with a questionable status. He is, without a doubt, the most valuable piece of the 49ers' defensive line and a potential turning point for the Eagles' defensive strategy. Williams has been the bedrock of San Francisco's offensive line since joining the team in 2020, and the numbers surrounding his impact are staggering. With Williams in the lineup since 2020, playoffs included, the 49ers boast a 61-31 record, a winning percentage hovering just below 66%. Without him, just 4-13, a brutal drop to a 24% win rate. These aren't empty statistics. They tell the story of a team that depends heavily on its anchor at left tackle. And if that anchor is removed ahead of a clash with a defensive line as aggressive as Philadelphia's, the ripple effect could be game-changing. Even at 37 years old, Williams remains a dominant force. His 91.5 PFF grade ranked third among 89 qualified offensive tackles this season, with a 92.8 run-blocking score that placed him second in the NFL. The Niners' zone run scheme, devised by Kyle Shanahan, is built around athleticism and control at the point of attack, both traits Williams embodies. Without him, San Francisco becomes noticeably vulnerable. That was never more apparent than during last week's loss to Seattle, where the 49ers were held to under 200 yards of total offense. They rushed for just 53 yards on 12 carries, and Brock Purdy spent much of the night under duress, unable to settle into a rhythm or stretch the field vertically. This mirrors the Lane Johnson effect for Philadelphia, another elite offensive tackle whose presence has been proven to directly affect win totals. Without Johnson, the Eagles are 18-27 all-time. With him, 110-57-1. In 2025, the Birds are 3-4 when Johnson has missed time. Both players are likely future Hall of Famers. And if San Francisco enters the link without their most important offensive lineman, the Eagles have to view that as a major edge. And speaking of the trenches, there's a quiet but growing conversation among Eagles fans and media about Tank Bigsby and whether it's time for the rookie to play a bigger role. No, Saquon Barkley hasn't been a disaster, but he hasn't had the impact many hoped for this season. Behind a regressing offensive line, his yards before contact have cratered. Landon Dickerson has battled through injuries and inconsistency, while Cam Jurgens has struggled to replicate the production of his predecessor. But what can neutralize poor line play? A back who runs with anger. That's what Bigsby brings to the table. He's a bruiser who churns out extra yards after contact and doesn't dance behind the line. He lowers his shoulder and delivers punishment. The Eagles' run game needs a shot of adrenaline, and Bigsby may be the answer. His screen pass against Washington showed off some surprising agility, sticking his foot in the ground, cutting outside, and picking up significant yards after the catch. Not the type of finesse you expect from a guy with his physical style. Jason Kelce said it best on Whippy. How many times does a guy have to flash to be like, why are we not giving this guy more carries? And Kelce isn't alone. There's a sense that the Eagles are leaving plays on the field by not leaning into Bigsby's skill set, especially as the cold January weather turns games into trench wars. So what do we have here? A potentially decimated 49ers offensive line. An Eagles run game on the verge of discovering its most dangerous combo. A defense playing with pride and personality. And a fan base, often criticized but impossible to ignore, ready to turn the link into a nightmare for another visiting opponent. If Trent Williams doesn't play, how big of an advantage is that for the Eagles heading into this game? And should Tank Bigsby finally get his chance to play a major role? Let me know what you think in the comments below.